Well, as the US adds to its war chest in its competition with China, Washington is also seeking closer economic ties with self-ruled Taiwan. Beijing has warned the United States against pursuing a trade deal with the island. It sees Taiwan as part of its territory and reacts with fury to any attempt to treat it as an independent nation.
Beijing's response to the American initiative was swift and unmistakable in its rhetoric. We urge the United States to implement the One China principle and provisions of the 3 China-US joint communiques, to stop any form of official exchanges with Taiwan, handle the Taiwan issue cautiously, and refrain from sending any wrong signals to Taiwan's independence forces. It's a statement meant to head off early signs that Washington is eyeing an eventual trade pact with Taiwan. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken alluded to the start of such talks during a congressional hearing. His remarks came with Beijing already incensed by a recent visit from 3 U.S. senators to Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen to announce a major vaccine donation. Despite cutting diplomatic ties with Taiwan in 1979 in order to recognize Beijing as China's only official representative, Washington is still Taipei's most powerful ally and biggest arms supplier. Increased U.S. support in the form of strengthened trade relations is likely to feed China's anger, further complicating relations between the world's top 2 economies.
Well, let's cross to our correspondent in Taiwan, So-Tsung Han. Why are the Americans so keen to get a trade deal with Taiwan?
Well, Rob, the deal has been put aside for 5 years since the Obama government. And the Trump administration focused on the trade war with China, leaving no time for the economic negotiation with Taiwan. This really worries this democratic island because it is excluded from the RCEP, which is the biggest free trade agreement between the Asia-Pacific nations, and yet to be accepted into other significant regional economic trade deals. As an ally of this democratic island, the U.S. showed the friendly gesture and sent a signal to other countries that they can do business with Taiwan to counter China's expansive economic power.
OK, so this is actually quite a lot to do with the aesthetics of actually having the talks. How is the trade deal, or the idea of it, going down in Taiwan itself?
It's highly welcomed by the Taiwanese government, saying it is enthusiastic and expectant at the prospect of resuming the trade talk with the U.S. But some critics here are sarcastic about what they call the belated move, because Taiwan has agreed to import U.S. pork with rictopamine and purchase arms from the U.S. for quite a while. And they worry that a deal like this between Taiwan and the U.S. will further anger China when China is still the biggest trade partner of Taiwan.
Meanwhile, we've been hearing how the United States Senate has just approved this $250 billion tech bill with the aim of competing with China's tech ambitions. What impact is that likely to have on firms in China and Taiwan?
Well, both China and Taiwan are still accessing the impact. Experts in Beijing said it's better not to overinterpret the bill as purely confrontational or provocative. Instead, the government should continue its own science and technology development goals. And for Taiwan, the bill might drive the semiconductor giants like TSMC to invest in the U.S. more, like their chip factory plant in Arizona we see. Whatever they do, we are sure to see the turning point of the industry with the supply chain reshuffled.
All right, So-Tsung Han joining us from Taipei. Thanks a lot.